Set 2 will be played on Whirlwind. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position, the red Protoss from CJ Entis. His name is Bong.
His opponent, his strategy did not work out well, but he did win the game in the end in set number 1. Now going for the second kill of the day against Bong from CJ. His name is Flash, spawning as Green Terran on the top right-hand position of the map.
You know, when you're a player that can open up with a build that doesn't really do a lot and puts you a bit behind and still end up winning the game in the end, then you know you're a great player like Flash.
He had the right concept. I mean, let's think about it. He built a proxy factory and the starport, but he was building constant SCVs behind it. As soon as he went for the attack, he threw down the command center. So he knew that even if the attack didn't do much, he was still in the game. He could still try to make something happen and win the game in the end, and that's how it happened.
Yep, a few slip-ups from heroes certainly helped Flash get back in the game as well. And Bong going for a 9 scout after the pylon. He's going to be moving over to his opponent's base here. He's going to get lucky, spotting Flash in the first position, and going to do a little bit of annoying harassment here on that SCV. That's going to force another SCV or two to get pulled off the mineral line to defend.
Now Bong can do whatever he wants to, since he exactly knows what his opponent is going for.
Yeah.
You know, this is a trade-off for going for 9 scout. Not so popular, I have to say, in a 4-player map, because it's hard to find the Terran player before the Terran player walls off. But if you find them the first time around, then you're going to see what your opponent is going for.
Oh, no, he's not going to proxy.
That's why I was waiting for a few seconds.
I know that's on your minds. I know you have a feeling that Bong's going to go for the proxy.
But he's going to go... Okay,
looks like he's going to grab an expansion pretty fast if he's not going to mine from that the Vespine geyser there.
He's only mining a little bit, and he even sees Flash just going for the reactor as soon as possible.
Yeah. It's going to be a reactor expand from the looks of things from Flash. They'll also have the ability to either go for a fast Reaper to do some scouting or go for the fast factory. And Flash, he's scouting with his SCV here, going to spot the fast expand from his opponent here. Well, at least I anticipate the fast expand will go up. We do see the gas being mined now from Bong, so I guess my mistake. I didn't see any mining on the Vespine geyser, and then he decided to add it on a bit later.
Yeah, he did add it on a bit later, and there's a double Reaper coming out on the way. But even if you go for the fast expansion, you need to get up to 100 gas to make sure you have a Stalker and a Warp Gate starting as soon as the Cybernetics core finishes, or even a Mothership core behind this. So you do need to start mining the gas at some point, even if you go for a fast expansion.
It looks like he just wanted to get that Mothership core out first. And we do have the expansion on the way. And Flash grabbing his expansion now. That probe is one lucky probe. This is something we're noticing more and more. Players, they're just barely missing the scouting worker of their opponent here.
Well, it's not... I mean, Flash, he wants to see what's over there, but he's already building a command center, so he needs a second unit over there if he wants to check that the probe is over there.
He's not going to worry about that, though. He's sending out his Reapers across the map now, looking for proxies. No doubt a good decision from Flash.
We're actually seeing a lot of double Reapers on this map against a Protoss player.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. The double Reaper is, I guess, a great way to do some scouting and potential damage. And
look at this, really sneaky. Flash does react in time, but he does reveal the factory.
The factory being shown here is actually kind of cool, though. At least Bong got that scouting information, and it looks like that was a pretty useful scouting probe.
Well, it has to be useful because now you know what Flash is going to go for. I mean, usually Terran players, after the expansion, they might throw down the 2 racks or they might throw down a factory. It's better for the Protoss player to scout what tech it is and, you know, just play reactionary against your opponent.
Yep. All right, Bong grabbing a sentry behind this as well as the robotics. We got some marine production on the way from Flash as well, getting a starport and a Widow Mine behind this as well. So Flash looking like he wants to do similar harassment style to last game, but more on the economic side.
Yeah, and the only difference is Bong, he knows the factory is out there, but he doesn't exactly know what Flash is going to go for. There is a factory, but he doesn't know if it's going to be Widow Mines or Hellbats.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hellbats.
Speaking of Hellbats, are we going to see them today, SM? Well, do you have a prediction?
Armory up, factory up, starport up, yes.
Hold that thought. We got an attack here from Flash, and it's actually a bit offbeat. Mothership cannon goes down, and you know what? This is going to allow the Widow Mine drop to do a lot more damage.
Now, is there an observer out on the way? Yes, there is an observer out, but Bong needs to start making a little more because he saw the factory, one at each base, and possibly one with his main army if he really wants to make sure that the Widow Mine does not do any damage.
He is grabbing a second observer right now, as well as 2 more gateways. Those will complete before this drop comes. The Mothership Core, though, still does not have a lot of energy on it, only up to 50 at this point. And I love that Flash is just keeping these Reapers outside his opponent's base, applying a bit of passive pressure.
That was a little cute. Flash was trying to hide the Widow Mine away from the Observer as soon as he scouted it, but the Observer saw everything, including the medevac. So now Bong knows that there's a drop going inside the main base.
Look at the production tab from the Terran.
Well, I'm not surprised, so that's why I didn't even mention it. You go for factory, you go for starport, and you go for armory before the +1/+1 even starts. It has to be Hellbats.
It has to be. It's got to be Hellbats.
So here's the first attack from Flash with the Widow Mines and Reapers at the natural.
I like this, man. A nice little maneuver from Flash, but Bong, he's not having any of it. The probes are being pulled off the middle line quite efficiently here. And this one may end up doing a little bit of damage. We have some splits going down here. And nice job from Bong, dealing a lot of damage, or preventing a lot of damage from happening.
He's not microing well at the natural because the Widow Mine is still over there, and while Bong is still paying attention to the Widow Mine at the natural, the Hellbats are dropping inside the main base.
Uh-oh, this is where the real damage can come. When it rains, it pours. Here come the Hellbats. They're going to go ahead and start picking off a lot of those workers right now. Nice job from Flash. He's gotten up to 11 workers now with this harassment, being quite successful.
And 11 workers with the first drop? I mean, the problem with the Hellbat drop is, yes, most players can defend the first drop, but it's the second drop, it's the third drop that hurts the most.
Hellbat has probably got 1 or 2 health to its name.
That Hellbat is probably happy that the player's name is Flash.
Yeah, I think maybe Innovation could have saved that Hellbat as well.
Innovation, Flash, you know, 2 great Terran players, so it's all good. And now, look at this. Bong the scout, the Hellbat's going inside the main base once again, but he does not see the second medevac outside of his main base.
He gets sniped off, very close. Flash needs to bring that home and heal it up. And we have the Hellbat boosting in now. It's going to move towards the natural, and that drop's going to get taken out pretty fast there. The Hellbats don't do too much damage, but this follow-up here, this is the one that could be scary.
Yeah, well, he needs to take out the medevac before the Hellbat drops.
The medevac's moving in. That's 4 Hellbats here, and they're dropping on the Stalkers. Though one of the medevacs does fall here, the second one as well. The Hellbats, though, still doing a good amount of damage here, picking off of the Stalkers, actually, as well as preventing some mining time from their opponent.
Only 6 more probes have been killed. Yes, the mining time has been delayed for a long time, but Bong has been defending well after the first initial Hellbat drop, I have to say, because he's been sniping the medevac every single time.
The biggest issue now, though, is that look at the worker count.
Yeah.
40 to 52.
I mean, it's inevitable since he lost so much in the first drop. So he should be behind. If not, then there's something wrong with this game.
I think Flash sees that Bong is moving across the map here. He has a Colossus and some units here, but it looks like Flash, he'll be able to defend against this.
Well, he is the king of force fields, so if he has a lot of force fields to back this up, then he can actually break this defense, but that's not that many supporting army from Bong, so it's better for him to just sit back, defend against this medevac, and then go for third base.
Flash doesn't even care, man. He's just going to drop anyway because he knows he can get at least a few probe kills there. I think he only manages to get a few there, but, well, never mind. Up to 21 now. These drops, man, it's like you can't stop them. No matter what, they're going to do damage.
You need a cannon. You need a cannon to scare away the medevac. Even if he drops, the cannons are going to do some damage, nice damage against the medevacs and the Hellbats. And Bong's been doing a nice job cutting every single medevac in all of these drops, but, you know, he is taking some probe damage, and there's a drop inside, going inside the main base, but Bong is not reacting.
There's nothing there. The drops just don't stop. Flash is going to start picking off more and more buildings and units as time goes on here. Now Bong moving back with a lot of his units, but he's supply blocked in. We're now down to 1. Artosis pylon, but that doesn't even matter. The robotics gets picked up. Flash loses nothing to that attack, and he is just running in circles around Bong right now.
I don't want to say it, but that was a little disappointing from Bong. He saw it. He just didn't react in time. He could have saved the pylon. You know, pylon might have gotten taken out, but he could have saved the Robo, definitely, with the Colossus and the Immortal that he had right now.
What's it going to take for these Protoss players to start defending against the Hellbats better? Like, do we need to see Stargate openings with Phoenix or something? Because, you know, these drops there are just continuing to do so much damage, and no matter what the Protoss does, some type of economic damage will almost always hit them.
Well, that's the problem with the Hellbats, because once it drops, it never stops.
You need the right wraps on there. All right, we got another drop heading over here, but the Stalkers will deflect that for now. Flash up 129 supply to 88 from his opponent, Bong. We have the +2 armor, +1 attack on the way. Charge about to complete. Immortal production as well here. The Colossus, though, that's going to get picked off pretty easily. Good force fields go down, but excellent force fields as well. But the problem is there's just too many Terran units. And Bong, he's going to lose the majority of his army here, and with that, potentially the game.
Having a title King of Force Fields is very nice, but, you know...
It's a useful talent to have.
It's a useful talent to have, but if you don't have the army to take out Flash's main army, then Force Fields, they're just going to delay Flash, but they're not going to prevent Flash from killing the Surface.
Flash's army is just out of control here. The probes trying to run away. I mean, immortal production because there's just not enough units to deal with the Vikings now. We have a few Archons being morphed in, but this is a big attack. I think this may be the end to Bong's reign here on Whirlwind. And the Flash, you know, he's just going to micro back a little bit, focus fire down the Archons, and that immortal there.
Like I said, he is perfect with this bio micro every single time.
Oh, man, her scan's going down. GG is called. Boy, was that one-sided. Flash absolutely dominating his opponent there in that game.
I'm actually kind of baffled from the number of scans that we saw, and every single one of them was at the same spot.
Yeah.
Perfect. Flash just dominating his opponent with Widow Mines and Hellbats in this game as Bong. He couldn't come back from the probe loss that he had with the first Hellbat drop.
You know what? That reminds me of a game between a Masters League player and a Grandmaster. Flash obviously being the Grandmaster. Bong in this situation, unfortunately being the Master League player. That's what it felt like seeing, man.
If it was someone else playing, then Bong could have stabilized because he was doing a nice job killing every single Medivac. The problem with the Hellbat drop is, yes, Hellbats get taken out eventually, but the Terran player, they save up the Medivac, and when they go for counterattack, they have like, what, 6, 7 Medivacs with the main army, which is really scary. So Bong did a nice job cutting the Medivac count, but he just lost too much.
Yeah, he just lost too much. The defense was not stellar against the drops. The reactions was pretty good, except for that one where the double drop of the Marines and Medivacs came out. So now we're going to find out the third player being sent out. It's going to be Hydra from CJ Entis. Really good against Protoss players, but sometimes he has a bit of trouble against Terrans, and the trouble's going to continue because his opponent is Flash.
And unlike Bong, he needs perfect reaction time in this game because Flash in this matchup, he just flies those Medivacs pretty much everywhere. Yeah, that's the word.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about this matchup or every single matchup Flash plays, man?
Well, almost every single match.
All right, guys, we have to go into a quick commercial break. When we get back, the third set between Hydra and Flash.